This is the Guide to Georgia Outdoors, and it is daylight on High Falls Lake here in Jackson, Georgia. And the interesting thing about this video is I've never fished here, but I got all the information I needed, or at least I hope I did, from ChatGPT. I said, hey, I'm fishing this weekend in February. I want to catch crappie. What do I need to fish with and what kind of style, technique? And ChatGPT gave me everything that I needed, or we're going to find out. This is a low horsepower lake, so it's a 9.9 or smaller, so we brought the small John boat. We're going to be doing some long line trolling, different crappie jigs. We have minnows as well. And I don't know if you can tell, but man, this water is stained. It rained a lot last night. In fact, we're sitting here waiting on the boat to drain because it collected a lot of water. But this water is really stained. I don't know what it looked like before the rain, but this is a really brown color, so I can go ahead and tell you the bite's going to be challenging today. It's about 60 degrees, maybe upper 50s. We're going to get in there, we're going to set up the rods and reels, and I'll give you a little more intel as we go on what we're fishing with and our setup. Right now, we're going to get this boat in the water. Keep an eye on these rods, and I'm not talking about a little bounce. I'm talking about a good bend, okay? It's a fun way to fish because it's pretty much all you do right here.
The left and watch the right.
All right, we got our first fish of the day. Didn't have my camera ready. It's a pretty decent fish. It's a crappie. Yes. Get that net, babe. There we go. There's one.
Pretty.
It is. They're a different color in these ponds for sure. And that one was our first crappie of the day. Caught it on a, I don't know, that's a Catchmore jig, but I'm not sure the exact color. But we're gonna go right back through that hole again. It's not a real big one, but hey, in the words of my grandpa, it will stink up the grease. Gonna open that cooler for me right there. If you want to get a drink out, you better go ahead and reposition it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, got our next second bite of the day. This feels like a pretty good one right here. I'm wondering if it might be a little striped bass or spotted white bass actually, but got a little fight to it.
He's big. That thing's a whopper.
Get him, baby. That is a whopper right there. You can't go over the top of that. There we go. That is a quality crappie right there. All right, caught him on the white with a pink jig head. And that is a sure enough. Let me straighten the trolling motor up. That is a sure enough slab right there. We're gonna get back into that particular area. But yeah, that is a tank. Caught on a white, which is coincidentally one of my favorites. We're gonna get back in there. Open that cooler for me, babe. This is 2 fish on this particular color. And that's a pretty good one right there too. Probably gonna end up getting tangled up. That is a good fish. I mean, almost too good to be a crappie. That is a, baby, don't watch your pole, baby. Watch the net. Good, my good night at the size of that thing. That is a crappie and a half.
That is probably the biggest I've seen.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest crappie I've ever caught.
Silverfish.
That is one of the biggest crappie I have ever caught.
Can I get a picture of that one?
Wow. That's probably the biggest crappie I've ever caught. And that's 2 on this particular color. I think that's purple haze. Purple haze, I believe, is the color, but man, that is pretty. That is as big and fat as they come. We're gonna get him in the cooler and go for more. It won't take a many of them to have a good meal, will it?
We get him for lunch.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Dang, that's a, oh my gosh. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. I sped up the speed at which we're trolling.
Oh, beaver.
We went quite some time without a bite, and believe it or not, I've got one right here in front of my aunt's house. There's where we're staying, right there in that house over there with the pontoon boat. And we caught one right here. You don't feel like he's as big as the other ones, but he got a little bit of late fight in him. It's a good one. I will say what we've lacked in quantity, we've made up in quality. Another good one right there. I know it's hard to get the initial hook set because I go so long between bites, but that is 3 fish today. 3 of our 4 fish, babe, were on that color. So you know what that tells me?
What's the color?
Time to change up the colors on the other ones. So before we get too far into the video, I wanted to show you my boat setup and what I'm fishing with, plus the lures and tackle we're fishing. And keep in mind, this is a size restricted lake, so you're not able to carry any outboard bigger than a 9.9. And this boat right here is an awesome boat. This is a Canucci Boatworks JB14, and it's basically built like a 1436, but it is a fiberglass, and you got these seat pods that slide back and forth, and that 9.9 pushes it real well. But me and my buddy Jason rigged up some rod holders for me, so we were able to troll 4 rods out of the front of the boat, and we just set the trolling motor, I believe, on 2 most of the day. Sometimes we put it on 3, depending on the how fast we wanted to go. But this was an ideal setup. I was able to cover some ground. We had rods of various lengths. We have some 10-foot rods, 8-foot rods, 6-foot rods, and we trolled these jigs. I want to show you the jigs we use, and give a shout out to Cast King. I'm going to feature their stuff in a different video, but they sent me this tackle box and some other gear that's not in this video. But all of these jigs that we fish with, if I can get it open here, are made by catchmorefish.net. That's their website, and this was the color of the day for the first day. This is called Fire Shad, and we just paired it up with one of these jig heads right here. I believe it was a pink one was the color of choice. And then we also had some good luck on the white diamond. And these are some really good, they're called the brush minnow, 2-inch brush minnow. And that's all we've caught, that's all we fished with this entire trip. In fact, we fished with minnows as well, and we had more luck on the jigs than the minnows. But that's our setup. I know everybody has different rigs. In fact, in this video, we've seen guys fishing with 12 rods, one guy with 12 rods. But right now, we're gonna go back to the video. We're gonna catch a few more fish. All right, it is the same day, although it looks drastically different. It was cloudy this morning, and now it's bluebird skies and sunny. But we're back out here. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna go try to troll again. We didn't have a ton of luck this morning. We caught 4 or 5. What we lacked in size, we made up in, what we lacked in numbers, we made up in size. But it's hard to tell, but this water is really, really stained. This morning, it's been coming from left to right. So we're gonna have to go that direction out to the main channel to get some clear water, and that's gonna be our plan, to try to find some clear water to see where these crappie are at, and see if we can catch a few. But this has been our setup for today, and it has been a great fishing setup. So, all right, got one. And I was just thinking I was bouncing on the bottom. Fish is hard to do by yourself. Real hard to do by yourself. I was just thinking I was bouncing on the bottom, and looked back, and sure enough there's a fish on there, and that is 2 fish I've caught in the same exact area. I think we're gonna have to go through there again. This one's got a little fight in him. Hey, this one's on a white, and this one's got a little bit of fight in him. I think we got a good one right here. This one ain't wanting to surface. You can chalk that up as a fish I was not expecting to catch in here. That is a interesting catch. Caught more than my fair share of these. Was not necessarily expecting to catch that here. I like a jackfish as much as anybody, but that was not what I was hoping to catch. Anybody who eats fish will tell you that is a dang good fish. So you know what? We might do it. We've done it on the channel before in a long time. We may gash him and fry him, because it is a pretty good fish. Just for the sake of time, we're going to speed up our trolling just a little bit. Earlier today, I did that, and as soon as I did, something ran off with one of mine. I'm talking, don't think it was a crappie. So we're gonna troll just for a little bit, just to kind of get back in time. And then when we get to one more spot that I like, we're gonna slow it back down. Got one. Got one. We're gonna try to do a little bit. So, it's 11th hour. Got one. I think I got a crappie on it. Oh yeah. It's 11th hour. Not the biggest, but appreciated. And I was trolling at a pretty good clip. I had it on a little bit faster than normal. But that's pretty exciting. Another one down. Right. It is our last day of the trip. It's about 7:55. We're gonna troll for about an hour before we go. And here's something really interesting. Right in front of us, you can see them. The camera's probably not going to pick up on it, but right there where that tree is, you can see the mud line. We're in the mud, and once we get over there, it's going to be clear. I can kind of see it snaking around. We're going to hang to the clearer water today and see if we can pick up a few bites. This has been the effects of that nearly 2 inches of rain we got the other night. Got one. Look at that already. Been here for a minute. Love it. For some reason, the crappie up in this area are not the biggest, but appreciated. I was on a white. Already a good start. That's a good one there, buddy. There's a real good one right there. Turn that down a little bit. That's the kind I've been after for a while. I want to tangle everything up, but it's probably going to happen. I think it's already happened. Trying to straighten everything out. That's a crappie. That's a good one there, buddy. That is a real good one. And I'm tangled up on this one right there. That was tangled up. Let it break. See if I can start slipping one back. No wonder. Ain't a crappie. There we go. Let's see if I can deal with this first. This cost me. No wonder he had 2 of my lures in his mouth. This one fish has cost me about 3 break-offs. Let's see if I can get this hooked up. This one fish cost me about 3 break-offs, so we're gonna appreciate him. He's gonna go in our cooler. That's a good eating fish right there. Comment below if this is a white bass, a striper, or a hybrid. Can't really tell. I don't know them great, but that was an exciting catch today. Pleasure to catch him. Well, that's it for this fishing trip. I wouldn't say it was easy. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of miles. Yesterday, the color was like a silver and black. Today, it was white. And we caught some good ones yesterday, smaller today. We did catch a striped bass today. So it was kind of a mixed bag, but we ended up with 10 keeper fish, which I've been on plenty of fishing trips that were worse than this. But right now, we're gonna get the boat loaded up. We're staying here at my aunt's house, but right now we're about to load all our gear and head back to our house, 2 hours away. So we got a little bit of a ride, maybe grab some lunch on the way, and then we're gonna fry some fish and do the official Guide to Georgia Outdoors taste test. All right, about 2 hours, a stop at Bass Pro Shop and a stop at Burger King later, and we're here at the Skinning Rack, and that was a decent trip. We do have some small ones in there that I'm not real proud of, but look at the size of that one. That's right up there with one of the biggest crappie I have ever caught. We also got a jackfish, which some people would tell you is one of the best eating fish in the water. Not one of my favorites, but I do like them, and needed some for a fish fry. We're gonna clean these up. We're gonna fillet them. I'm gonna show you how we do it, especially one of these big ones. We're gonna see if she still got eggs in there, which I suspect she does, which lets me know the spawn's coming. But we're gonna strap the GoPro on, and we're gonna clean these out, and then we're gonna fry them up with some seasoning and some batter we picked up at the Bass Pro Shop right there in Macon on the way home. But right now we're gonna get these cleaned out and get them ready to cook. All right, this is probably one of the bigger crappie I've ever caught. Probably, I think I measured him right at almost 15 inches. We're gonna fillet him out. I suspect that she's got some eggs in there. We're gonna fillet her out. Then I'm gonna show you on a different size. So right here, I like to get behind this gill plate. Turn, and once again, this is a big, big fish. Turn and run down that spine. When you get to the end, don't cut all the way through, flip over, and look, she is still got eggs in her, which means she was in the process of, in the next week or so, she's gonna be spawning out. And you get that right there. We're gonna trim this, I got some meat stuck on the blade there. We're gonna trim these bones out of the ribs right here. And you're left with one heck of a fillet. It wouldn't take many fish that size to feed you, but we're gonna stop right there and go to this small one. We are gonna fillet the other side of that, but I wanna show you right here. One of these small ones, and yeah, they are smaller, but there is a good chunk of meat on these as well. So let me show you the same way. Gotta be careful not to cut all the way through the fish because they're relatively easy to do that. You don't want to leave any meat behind. And there you go. That is a definitely much smaller. Look at the comparison between the two. Definitely much smaller, but once again, it is a good chunk of meat. While we're still cleaning and looking at different fish, let's go ahead and clean this little bass. And once again, comment below if this is a white bass, a striper, or a hybrid. I research them all the time and I always forget, but these are really good eating fish. But if I remember correctly, they have a bloodline right under the skin, but we clean them the same way. A lot firmer fish. Get these rib bones out. Let's see here. Yep, see there's that bloodline right there. And what we'll do is probably take a knife when we go to prep it and just trim lightly right there and get that bloodline out. But to be honest, it's not that bad. But that's that bloodline on the striper. But that is a good size fillet as well. Wouldn't take many of them for a good meal. All right, we're gonna put the GoPro down and finish cleaning all these fish up. All right, we just got all these fish cleaned up, and I don't know, that's a couple pounds. And that's not gonna be enough for no church fish fry or no men's fellowship dinner. Hey, but for me and my family, that's gonna be perfect. We got enough. We're gonna batter them up. I bought some Bass Pro Shop beer batter seasoning and batter, and we're gonna fry them up in just a little bit. And we're gonna have dinner, fresh, never frozen, crappie fillets, not crappie, crappie fillets. All right, it has been a long day and we're about to enjoy the fruits of our labors of catching these crappie and a striper as well. We took them into the house, we filleted them out good, got the bones out, covered them with a little bit of Tony Chachere's, you gotta love that stuff, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. That's gonna give them a little bit of a taste, and it's also gonna help that batter stick. We used Uncle Buck's beer battered seasoning, pre-seasoned fish fry mix, and we're right now we got the Bayou Classic fryer heating up to 350 degrees, and it won't take these little crappie fillets just a couple of minutes to fry, and they're gonna be good. They call it the steak of the lake. I don't know about that, but I can tell you it's gonna be a good eating fish. You gonna dump the fish right there. All right, I think it's done. Look at that. All right, these little fillets, these little crappie fillets like this, fry up so easy. Get you a Bayou Classic. It's big, takes 6 gallons of oil, but it is so worth it. And always, while you still have it piping hot, top them off with a little bit of Lowry seasoned salt. All right, time to go in and eat. Look at that right there, buddy. All right, my favorite part of every single video is the official Guide to Georgia Outdoors taste test. And I gotta be honest, this fried up so easy. Only took about 3 minutes to batter. Is a nice golden color. And I got a whole platter, but I stepped outside because my family's in there eating to do this taste test. So here goes nothing. One of these small crappie. So this will let you know if it's worth keeping them. Man, when they say steak of the lake, it doesn't taste like steak, but my goodness. That is good. That is. I'll keep every single crappie that I catch this time of the year. I hope you enjoyed this video. I haven't made a lot of content recently just because I've been busy. I'm a dad. I had a birthday. I work full-time job, but I'm getting back into it right now. This was something I enjoy doing, visiting my family and catching some fish in a place I've never been before. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be fishing next week at a Lake Sinclair, doing some long line trolling there as well. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button to the next one. This has been the unofficial, no doubt incomplete guide, Georgia Outdoors.